Well, when I spoke in this delightful garden 4 weeks ago and had to announce that the Australian Consumer Sentiment Index had fallen by 17.7%, which was a record fall in the 47-year history of the survey, I certainly didn't expect that a month later I'd be reporting a 16.4% record increase for the month of May. This survey was conducted in the week of the 4th of May to the 8th of May, and this included the lead up to the government's announcement of the three-stage releasing of restrictions that I believe has been a major factor in the recovery in confidence this month. The level of confidence is still 7.6% below the average between September and February, but given that in that period the COVID story was not a factor, I think that the level of the index now is encouragingly high, and I'd have to describe it as a very impressive result. The fact that Australia's success in containing the spread of the virus and that governments have been able to positively surprise the public with an earlier than expected releasing plan for restrictions are obviously the key reasons behind the extraordinary recovery in confidence. When we look at the components of the index, there's one very important message that is quite clear, and that is the 5-year outlook for the economy. So that index was up 10.7%, not as much as the overall index, but it is now 50% higher than the average of the 5-year outlook during the 89, 90, 91 period of that last recession. What that's telling me is that people have a plan, they can see relief in sight, whereas in a recession there's a feeling of hopelessness. People can't really see how they're going to get out of it. And I think that indicates that this crisis that we're passing through at the moment is very different to your traditional recession. Other components of the index also registered spectacular increases: 31% for the 1-year outlook for the economy, 26% for whether now is a good time to buy a major household item. And that, of course, is consistent with data we're now starting to see around expenditure on credit cards and from credit bureaus, that we're starting to see a pickup in spending. We've also seen a substantial improvement in the environment around employment. So the employment index has improved by more than 13%. And interestingly, when we look at the confidence of folks that are out of work or looking for work, we notice that at 92 is higher than the overall index at 88. So this is also an encouraging sign that although we're about to hear about a record jump in the unemployment rate, the forward-looking feeling around job security and job confidence is much more encouraging. Of course, one of the factors there is the government's JobKeeper package, and we saw yesterday that the Treasurer pointed out that 5.3 million workers had been benefiting from that package. The final story is around the housing market, where the question is now a good time to buy a house rebounded dramatically by 31%, almost getting back to the level it enjoyed before last month's collapse. But I think of more interest is the fact that the outlook for house prices only lifted by 4.6% following the 50% fall that we saw last month. I think that's sending us a pretty clear message that prospects for house prices over the next 12 months are going to be quite discouraging. So if I sit back and look at this overall survey, I have to say that I'm surprised by the strength. And when we look at the Reserve Bank statement on monetary policy, they talked about a scenario of a faster than expected recovery and indicated that if that was to be the case, that the unemployment rate would be forecast to get to 5% by the middle of 2022. Once that unemployment rate looks like getting down to that level, then markets will get very nervous about the likelihood that interest rates will remain at these current record lows. Thank you.